Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Monday Blues Round 12, Melbourne Demons versus the Carlton Blues preview. I absolutely hated that. I'm going again.
I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Navy Blues. I'm just kicking it off again. I'll start again. All right, 3, 2, 1, bing! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to...
Why did you do that?
Because you went like this.
What did he bing?
Oh, yeah. We don't need an audio board, Marlon. You've got you got the sound effects here.
All right, take four. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Monday Blues game preview. It's round 12, Melbourne Demons versus the Carlton Blues. It's a big game, boys. It's a big game. The club has been under a crazy amount of pressure of late. Cripps has been in the news. Harry Mackay has been in the news. Michael Voss has been under the pump. Every single person at the Carlton Footy Club at the moment is under the pump. It's a big game. It's at the G. It's under the lights. And I'm pretty sure it's our last Friday night game for the next few years because we've been terrible at the primetime games of late. So let's have a look at the teams. All right, let's kick it off. We'll go through the ins and outs. Now, going out of the team, and a lot of the outs that we have this week is due to injuries. Corey Durden, George Hewitt, Mark Pitney, Nick Newman, and Ollie Hollands, all injured. Man, I tell you what, that reminds me of last year's ins and outs. It's injury plagued once again, and it's not the place that we want to be at the moment. What do you boys think?
Yeah, I mean, last week after the Sydney game, I actually thought we'd get a few more outs than what we have. I mean, Chera got off. I'm surprised Cripper's in. Pitternet surprised me because I think he played out the game.
He did.
Yeah, so it'll be look, a few fresh faces coming back into the side.
There is.
No pressure on us this week. It's it's refreshing.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the ins. So we've got.
Before you start, sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the ins.
Okay.
So obviously you're going to say Paddy Dow's in.
Alex Chincotta.
Yeah.
which I'm glad he's in. So I'm assuming if we're looking at a like for like, Alex Chincotta is a straight swap for Nick Newman.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Silvani. I don't really know. Lewis Young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. And then my favourite player of all time, I'm so happy.
You're going to say Paddy Dow.
Lockie O'Brien is back in the team. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Yes.
Yeah, baby.
You did not.
Who's that?
Kicking efficiency is going to go down the drain tomorrow night with Lockie O'Brien coming back into the team. And lastly, Zach Fisher, which I'm happy about that one. That and Alex Chincotta sort of makes sense considering that we've had Corey Durden and Ollie Hollands going out of the team, but I feel like Lockie Bryan came in as a replacement for Ollie Hollands, which
so no Paddy Dow.
I might add that Dow is in. Dow is in this week. He is selected, but that is Thompson Dow for the Richmond Football Club against the GWS Giants. Just to rub salt in the wounds, there is a Dow in this week.
It's just not the right
extended list, isn't he, though?
He is in the extended list. So one of these four will be the emergency for Carlton tomorrow night. It's going to be one of Lockie Fogarty,
Ed Curnow,
Lockie Plowman, Ed Curnow, yes, and our boy, the one who has been, the club has really been cruel to this bloke, Paddy Dow.
It's a kick in the teeth. It's actually a kick in the teeth. You'd rather not get named in the extended.
No, well, look, Voss has harped on about playing people on form. Now, I don't know what type of form Paddy Dow is missing out on, or which area of the ground he's stuffing up that isn't allowing him to get a game in. The seniors with George Hewitt, Ed Curnow going out of the teams, which means Voss is going to have to play around with our midfield DNA, right? He's going to have to shift some. He's going to have to shift some people around, maybe play them a little out of positions, a little out of their natural zone. But if Paddy Dow still can't get a game in our team this week of all weeks with all the injuries, I think we can well and truly say he's done. He's done with this club. Yeah. Voss has no interest in him. The match committee has no interest in him. He's well and truly going to be at a different club, playing in a different Guernsey next year.
Unofficially, and I don't know how accurate this piece of information is, but word on the street is potentially he's already signed with another club, and hence the reason why he's not getting named. But I don't know. Don't hold me to that.
I actually heard that as well.
Oh, really? Is there any news on which club that might be? Or
no, one of our followers actually on Instagram on the Monday Blues podcast inboxed me just with a little heads up. Not sure how true it is, but I mean it makes a bit of sense. Although I like if TDK is getting the game, I think Paddy Dow's put his hand up.
I think Chera getting off was probably the sort of the nail for Dow, because you'd think, okay, well, the midfield you've got Walsh, Cripps, Doc, Chera, Kennedy. So your five is sort of there, minus obviously Hewitt, but you would have thought if Chera suspended, Dow would have gone in. What pissed me off, to be honest with you, I don't know if anyone watched the presser that Voss gave that the club advertised earlier today.
Yeah.
What annoyed me was one of the reporters asked him, so what about, selection, Paddy Dow, is he a chance? Voss kind of paused. He sort of looked at the sheet of paper he was holding, and he's like, we might wait and check a little bit later, hey? And then he laughed, like he snickered. And like, don't make a joke out of a non-selection. Like, you already know, you've had the conversation with him. You've probably had him in your office. You've probably told him, hey, mate, you're not getting in this team this week. You're on the emergencies or whatnot. I don't know what the timing was of that window, but he's probably already had the conversation. Like, don't make a joke out of non-selection. Laugh at it. Like, if you're Paddy Dow, his family or his manager, and you're watching that, like, it's a bit disheartening at the end of the day, right? So he doesn't, don't make light of his situation. And I don't know, is it his refusal maybe to seek a trade last year? But regardless, I think his papers are stamped, and I hope he's successful wherever he goes next year.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's just undeserving of the way he's being looked over. Like, he's doing everything that's asked from him, week in, week out in the VFL. We've got injury on injury, players out of form. I mean, surely he's done enough to get a game, to get a block of games.
You'd certainly think so. Think so. And again, Zach Fisher spent how many weeks in the Magoos?
2.
A couple of weeks, right? Couple of weeks. Jack Silvani spent 1 week and he played out of position. We've played him in the forward line all year, and then we decided to throw him down back in the VFL, and we've immediately brought him back in, right?
We did the opposite with Lewis as well.
And we did the opposite with Lewis as well, right? He was lacking a bit of confidence, lacking a bit of form, probably a bit of poise and confidence out there on the ground. We decided to throw him up forward. So I don't know, the Jack Silvani and the Lewis Young selection doesn't really make a lot of sense, but the Zach Fisher and Alex Chincotta do. Lockie O'Brien, I'm surprised we're going with Lockie O'Brien over Paddy Dow at this stage. Irrespective of what the midfield DNA is and everything like that. I think Lockie, if anyone's had their opportunity to show what they're capable of at AFL level in our team, Lockie O'Brien is that person. He's had the opportunity, and I think time and time again he showed that I just don't think the capability is there, or the capacity to play at AFL level.
I'm on the fence with Lockie O'Brien. I think there's still a lot of work to do for him, but I think Georgie said it on the Monday podcast. we looked great with him last year on the wing. It worked. So is he down on confidence? Is he, so...
Yeah, the
He
only
had the
saving grace.
driving.
Go, Georgie.
You go.
No, the only saving grace for Lockie O'Brien for me, I mean, I'm his number one critic. I don't think he's any value at all, but he's 23 years old. He's still got a little bit of footy left in him. Can he develop into a role into the side? Is this the perfect time? Does he come back in and give us a bit of run? I don't know. Is he the sub? Does he give us that run and actually impact games? Maybe he hasn't been given that opportunity to be able to do that, in these games when they can be grabbed by the scruff of the neck. I don't know. But, yeah, he's not my typical person that I would say, let's bring him in. But does he need that opportunity? I don't know.
Yeah. If you look at it from a different perspective, though, who's taken that opportunity away from him? Ollie Hollands. That's a first-year player. That's a first-year player that's coming in and taking over your role in the team, which is a winger role. So, I don't know. I don't think the coaches and the match committee have the faith in him at the moment because they're selecting Ollie Hollands over him. And yes, he has been better, but if that doesn't say to you, look, maybe I don't know, maybe we don't like you as much as you think we do, then I don't know. But
he had the wing on his, he had the wing last year. He had 19 games in 2022. He had made the wing his own. Well, and that was also because our wing depth was almost non-existent, right? So it was him, Cottrell, and if I look at this week, who's going to run with Ed Langdon? I probably feel a little bit more confident in Cottrell running with him and maybe stifling him than I do with Lockie. I think 100%. Lockie's got a driving left foot kick that sometimes can penetrate. And last year we saw a bit of that as well. But this is, Cottrell's chance to maybe just get in, and we saw he made the impact last week. So if he can continue to do that, obviously there's going to be a bit of contention now with Hollands out. So yeah, and it'll be interesting to see them. That they might chop and change. I think Doherty spent a little bit of time last year, sort of in and out of the wing. Walsh as well. So you might be trialing a few different things. So it'll be interesting, I think, over the next few weeks.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the back line. So fullback Alex Chincotta, Jacob Wiedering, Brody Kemp. Halfback line Lewis Young, Mitch McGovern, Adam Saad. That's quite tall. That's very tall. Now our speedsters out of those six, Mitch McGovern and Adam Saad. So they're going to be setting up the attack off the halfback. But nevertheless, that's quite a tall backline, and I'm assuming that they are there to sort of stop the weapons that are Brody Grundy and Max Gawn when they do come up forward. So quite a bit of height, and from memory, Melbourne's forward line is quite short. Aside from those guys, so your Bailey Fritsch, your Alex Neil Bullen, Spargo, Pickett.
Pickett. Who takes Pickett? Saad. Obviously, that's a direct match, I guess. There's no one else, like you say. We've gone quite tall, so
has to be. Yep. And as far as defenders are concerned, on the interchange bench, we've got Jordan Boyd and Sam Doherty. So,
it'll likely be Boyd or Saad that probably tries to stifle him. Saad. I'd love to see him just really drive a player into the ground and stick a tackle. Or some of the tackle attempts have been a bit feeble. And I know he sort of comes at it really top speed as well, so it might be a little bit difficult there. But I'd really like to see him develop that part of his game. You know what? I actually didn't realize Kemp is taller than McGovern. It was something that was a new thing. I didn't even know about it. He's about 2 or 3 centimeters taller than McGovern.
Yeah, right.
It might not look it in his frame, but he's a bit taller. So it'll be interesting to see who the matchups will be.
I really want to see us use Saad's run. He's there for this purpose. I really, really want to see us use his run.
I agree. And look, most teams over the last 6 or 7 rounds have locked Saad down very, very tightly. They know that we're going to use him off the halfback to set up our attack. But if that's going to happen, Mitch McGovern is just as quick and has a fantastic kick. I reckon if Saad's off, use McGovern, and McGovern needs to be aware of that. But anyway, let's look at the centre line and the followers. In the C, Sam Walsh, Paddy Cripps, Blake Acres. And following, TDK, Adam Chera, who was really, really lucky to get off. And I'm surprised he made it into the team. I'm surprised the lawyer actually didn't come and replace him because he's been fantastic. He's 7-0. first lawyer to beat the tackle suspension, which is bloody impressive. And Matty Kennedy. So it's a strong midfield.
DDK's got his work cut out for him, man.
He does. He's going to up two of the best rucks in the
Well, this is the baptism of fire, right? Show us what you can do.
Exactly. You want the contract?
Yeah.
You want the big bucks? Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Saying that though, I really hope they don't make a decision and give him the big bucks off one game, and he can actually show it consistently, because we have a habit of giving it to players off one good game's worth of, whatever it is. But
just on the centre line, I was really surprised Kennedy got up. He looked really ginger towards the end of that game. He was sort of forced to get back on. It was the last player sitting on the bench. Cripper, Kennedy. Are we taking some risks there? I don't know.
Might have to. We've got to keep Dow out of the team somehow.
I'll tell you what, I'm very much looking forward to Cripps coming out and absolutely having a belter. It's just got the makings of that this week, right? So obviously what happened early in the week with his, let's say, leadership and commitment questioned by Caro on Footy Classified. So
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that he stayed at that hotel in Paddington, because if he didn't, Caro wouldn't have said anything.
And to come out and actually respond and question, and for Channel 1 to go out and actually, foot and mouth, come back and apologise, tail between the legs as well. So that was, loved seeing that.
It was a good moment.
But did Caroline Wilson apologise publicly?
Channel 9 came out and said that Caro called Paddy Cripps and apologised, but nothing public.
Well, I think on Monday's episode, she should really apologise. I mean, she called him out publicly.
Him and Doherty.
Yeah, well, she called him out publicly. So I think they both deserve a public apology as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it will be even more better if we actually get up this week against the
it'd be sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, if this doesn't pump up Paddy Cripps, I don't know what does. I don't know what will. If he is not ripping through contests, shrugging tackles off, and actually getting on the scoreboard this week, I don't know what will get him up and about. Our forward line. Jesse Motlop, Charlie Curnow, Jack Silvani on the half forward line, and full forward we've got Zach Fisher, Harry Mackay, and Matty Owies. Now, here's another one that's had a bit of, not necessarily controversy. He's actually been applauded for what he's done, but he's shown a bit of vulnerability around, sort of the challenges that he's facing around his goal kicking. In Harry Mackay on the Ben and Harry podcast, he talked about how he's certainly trying to block out as much external noise as he possibly can, but for those in his camp are starting to be affected by his inability in front of a goal. More specifically, people like his mum, the forward line coach Ash Hansen, and obviously the boys in the team. He's aware and conscious of the fact that the team would have gotten up against Sydney if both him and Charlie kicked straight. And he's aware of that, which is good, because I certainly thought that he had no idea what he was doing, or the consequences of his shit kicking had on the team. But look, it's got the makings of an upset, right? The storyline, the narrative that's been built up across the week. I feel like, and I'm probably wrong. I know I'm going to be wrong, but I feel like everything is in place for us to get up tomorrow night, regardless of the injuries. I feel like whenever we have a huge injury list, and we showed it against some of the best teams that went deep into the finals last year, that we can undermanned, undersized, still take it to the top teams. And we did it last year against Melbourne, and we did it against Collingwood. Now, we only just lost those games, but maybe this year, with the experience that we had last year, we can get up. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll go back to what you said with Caroline Wilson. We've been disrespected amongst fans for weeks. We've been disrespected by each other. You know what I mean? We've eaten each other.
Mm.
This is the first time in a long time that the media has questioned our on-field and off-field leadership in a personal way. And like you said, if this doesn't G the boys up to at least look, win or lose, right? We're playing against one of the best teams in the comp. So we need to understand that, we are playing Melbourne. But if this doesn't G the boys up to go in hard at contests, to go hard at the man, to go hard at the ball, to want to win, then nothing will. So like you said, it does have the makings of an upset. But hypothetically we win. Next game, the game after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I applaud Harry for stepping out and acknowledging his faults and opening up about how it's making him and those around him feel. And I reckon we've all been harsh on him. I'll put my hand up for that.
Me too.
I think it's time we get around the boy and just you know what? Let him be on his journey. Let him, give him that peace.
Yeah.
And just hope he gets it right, man.
You've been hanging around Vossi.
Nah, but bro, look, we're so negative. We're so negative all the time, and I understand it's frustrating. And I'm a key contributor. But when a player, like, we forget sometimes that these players are human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And bro, you got 100,000 people at a ground watching you, and you've been to every game with me, mate. When Harry Mackay takes a mark, there are murmurs around the entire ground.
Yeah.
Not people gasping, not people talking, murmurs. You can imagine how those butterflies in his stomach are going when he hears all that.
Yeah.
So
I just got
think,
them then, as you mentioned that.
You what?
Yeah.
I just got those butterflies with you sort of painting that picture in that scenario. So look,
Yeah, bro.
I agree. But there needs to be a level of, and maybe it is, he does need that support, but there needs to be a level of accountability. Yes, for the players. Yes, for the team. You're an AFL elite footballer,
100%.
I don't know.
I think the players need to come out this week, be willing to absolutely run through a brick wall for the captain, for Harry. So first contest, absolutely, fly the flag, get a bit of biffo about them, absolutely run through a brick wall for Cripps after this week. And I think another important one is getting around Mackay after a goal. I think against the Pies when he kicked that drop punt.
That's right.
I think Cripps came up to him. Might have been one other player, but just get around him, right? So the guys, obviously, he had a hard week that week as well. He was questioned left, right, and centre. He didn't come out publicly and say anything. This week, he's basically saying, "Hey, it's getting to me. It's starting to get to me now, and I'm letting down my shield, and I'm talking about it. This is how much it's getting to me."
Yeah.
So the picture will paint 1,000 words on tomorrow night.
There's no denying it, gents. We're definitely under attack as a club, individually, on the ground, off field, all the rest of it. The Carlton Football Club is under attack. The guys are feeling it. It's make or break tomorrow. A lot needs to change, and I think these individual scenarios where your Harry Mackays are feeling it really, and they're speaking about it and all the rest of it, because I don't see the team getting around each other on the ground, and I don't see the endeavour to get that ball and to get the hard ball and to get around each other and to assist and to run and carry. And I think that we'll be having a different conversation. If Harry Mackay missed a couple or snapped a couple when he should have kicked drop punts, but the delivery was good, getting around was good. It's highlighted so much because it's so hard. We work so hard to get the ball down there, and then he misses. So I don't know.
I don't think it necessarily helps either when every time we're going into the forward 50, the only two people that we're targeting are Charlie and Harry, and that adds another level of unnecessary pressure to that set shot or to that kick at goal. When realistically, there's another 4 players in our forward line that we could kick it to.
Well, that's what I was about to say. So last week, TDK was roving. TDK was the one doing the roving, mate. We got Owies, you got Jesse Motlop, and Zach Fisher this week. You got 3 very quick guys. They have to be at the feet of our forwards because Harry's going to make the contest, Charlie's going to make the contest, TDK's going to make the contest when he's there, Jack's going to make a contest when he's there. The ball will hit the ground
more times than not. Yeah,
but we need our small forwards are our barometers. When they're up and about, we win. We win, and we win well. But
that takes the pressure off everyone.
Sometimes you don't even know they're there. Sometimes you actually don't even know where they are. It's literally like they're missing out there.
So it was very much highlighted when they were showing clips of Harry, not only with his kicking, with his marking, going up with one hand, dropping 3 or 4. When you look right in front of him, where's Durden? Where's Motlop? Where's Owies?
Exactly.
You don't see him. And I think, to be honest, with Durden, unlucky he copped an injury. I really hope he's on the mend and comes back, because I think his pressure is fantastic. But he was probably in line to be omitted, I'd say, this week. Out of the 3, if I'm looking out of the 3, out of Owies, Motlop and himself, he was the one probably given the least impact. Obviously, he's got his pressure acts and whatnot, but you got to hit the scoreboard and you got to play a consistent, role for the 4 quarters. So what I'm confident about this week, I think, because of the forced changes, that there's going to be also a forced slight change of style in the way we enter 50 and the way we play around the ball. So there's a bit more speed, as you said. Fisher brings that as well. Look, O'Brien down the wing with his pace as well is going to be good. Chinkotov halfback. So there's going to be a little bit more pace. We're
forgetting about Cottrell as well. Cottrell's going to be good too.
Yeah.
Final prediction, boys.
I reckon if we and we talked about it in the last episode, right? If we can see some more link up out of the stoppages and the contests, and get some deeper forward entries, and start converting a little more of the opportunities that we get down there, I reckon we're a shout. And that's. I don't think. Fossey said it today. He said we're never too far away. And at first I'm like, this guy's an idiot. How can you even say we're not too far away? We're so far away. But as you start to think about the game, you start to think about the list and the things that we need to fix. Like our defense last week was good, right? Stoppages and everything like that. We beat Sydney across a lot of the key stats, right? The thing that let us down last week against Sydney was conversion. Was our efficiency inside 50, right? Now, if we can clean that up, right, alongside looking at a few other different avenues to goal, aside from Curnow and Mackay, lock it in. So if we can sort that out, and I'm hoping that the changes to the midfield this week is a breath of fresh air for the midfield. It allows them to play a bit more freely. I reckon we're a shout. We're a shout. George, what do you think?
Oh, Georgie.
You go, Georgie.
Yeah. Look, I think if you asked me a few days ago, and we talked about it on Monday, I was hoping that we'd play a different brand, and I was not too optimistic. I think we'll get sort of close and we might fade away. But to be honest, and it might just be the standard Carlton supporter thing to do. The closer you get to the game, you start building optimism and you get a little bit G'd up, right? And as you said, Amal, like the storyline is sort of almost built for an upset as well, and it's a good news, like would be a good news story. You can almost see the scenes after the siren and stuff like that, right? So again, then I woke up kind of moment, sort of thing. So look, I honestly think it's going to be closer than we all expect, and I think it'll actually be decided in the 4th. We cannot afford a slow start in this game. So the slow starts and getting 4 or 5 goals down, like we did against the Pies in the first quarter, and then you're chasing your tail for the whole game, and you've got that, as you said, we're sort of in the game, like you said, the Mal Voss said, we're not that far off, but that 4 or 5 goal buffer, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You can't allow that. So you got to start fast, and I think that's what will build momentum and that will build confidence. An early Mackay goal a couple of really great tackles, chase down tackles, goals on the run outside of, not having to rely on 50-meter penalties and free kicks, actually off the back of skill and execution. We need that, and we need that early. Yep. But I honestly think it'll be decided in the fourth quarter, and I reckon it'll be a goal either way. That's my prediction.
Moss?
Yeah, look, for me, I think there's a lot of pieces that need to sort of, fit into place, but I think the shift in the midfield, if there's a bit of a cohesion and a blend between the players and they can sort of be accountable and move the ball well into the forward line, I think we're a chance. For me, Motlop, Fisher and Owies, they need 5 or 6 between them. And I think we're a good chance. I'm going to take the pressure off your Kernos and Mackays. They know they've got a job to do. We need a bag between them. But I think 5 or 6 out of Fisher, Motlop and Owies, and we're in with a chance. But I think the biggest piece in that with those 3 players is putting the pressure on, because it's easy to say get a couple of goals, get in front of the forwards, but it's the way the ball comes out with a lack of pressure, that's what kills us. So if those guys can get accountable, we win.
Andy?
Yeah, I reckon we're going to smash them. I'm G'd up. Talking about Cripper, I'm just listening to you boys talk. Cripper's going to come out, absolutely smash him out of the midfield. He'll get 40. And I reckon between Charlie and Harry, we'll get 10.
I
honestly reckon we're winning by 7-8 goals. 44 points, boys.
I really feel sorry for the first person that tries to get into Cripper's way tomorrow night.
Oh.
He is going to absolutely steam through them.
And I'm there for it, mate.
And I am going to yell the house down when he does it. Second to that, for anyone that listens to this, if you're going to be at the game tomorrow, get around Mackay. Whether he marks it, whatever he does, cheer it, clap it, scream it out loud, make sure that he hears it and he knows that the Blue Bagger family is around the guy, man. He opened up this week. That's not easy to do, right? He's got 100,000 or 90,000 members on his back for the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's been kicking like crap. And to open up like that and to show your vulnerable side as a star of the game takes a lot of balls, takes a lot of courage. So let's not look past that when we go to the G tomorrow night, I reckon. I certainly won't be.
Yeah.
I certainly won't.
Agreed. On top of the 90,000 fans, opposition fans, great to the game, Wayne Carey, Jonathan Brown, everyone left, right and centre is questioning him, so it's a great call out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, I will see you at the G tomorrow night.
Looking forward to it, mate.
Looking forward to
Go
it,
the
boys.
Baggers. Go the Baggers.
Up the Baggers.
Cheers, gents.
Have a good one.